control fear and panic?
How to control fear and panic? Obviously, panic is a state when you feel that.
I would like to reframe like how to control fear and panic and head towards our objective and achieve our objectives.
Now you have made it very difficult for me. You're saying you don't want to panic and yet you want to keep moving towards your objective, huh? Where do your objectives come from? The structure of your mind, right? Your beliefs, all that has been fed into you. That's what gives rise to all your goals and objectives and targets, right? And where does fear and panic come from? The same stuff that has been fed into you. You want to retain the goody part and you want to get rid of all that troubles you. You want to say, no, I want to chase those objectives, but I don't want to feel the associated pain and panic. How is it possible? In fact, those objectives, those goals and targets are inseparable from fear. Wherever there is an objective, there would be fear associated with it. You hope to get something and you fear that you may not get it. Don't you see that a man who is chasing goals has condemned himself to live in fear? Whenever you are having an objective, you want to meet the objective, don't you? And when you want to meet it, there is always a parallel thought that you might miss it. This thought itself is fear. Now you know why you panic. Because of these objectives. To have an objective and yet to remain centered is a different thing altogether. That happens when the objective is not external stuff. It is possible to have an objective and be on the road to it very calmly. It is possible to work very energetically without the fear of loss or without the fear of failure. But that can happen only when your objective is not arising from an internal sense of incompleteness. Understand it like this. When we set an objective, we say that when I get that X, I would be better off. Isn't that the feeling while chasing every goal? That if I accomplish my mission, then something would be added to me. I would be a better man. I would be better off. Is that not so? Yes? So all our objectives, in a way, start from and feed upon our sense of inferiority. I'm not quite all right now. When I'll reach that milestone, then I'll have the right to feel better about myself. Yes? Our inferiority becomes the engine that powers our journey. The more inferior you feel, the more speedily you run towards your goal. That is what happens with most people in most cases. So much so that most of us, unfortunately, come to a point where we feel that unless there is fear, no work is possible, no movement is possible. So if the boss wants to get work done, he threatens the employee. No other engine is possible. Only when he is afraid will he work. When the teacher wants the student to read, he says, unless you study, you are failing this semester. Do you see what is happening? Reach that objective, otherwise you are reduced. And reach that objective and you are increased. Something is added to you. We forget that another mode of working is possible. It is possible to work beautifully, energetically, without having objectives. I'm all right, and because I'm all right, I'm working. And obviously, the objective and the quality here cannot be the same as when I am working because I feel inferior. If I feel inferior and I'm working, then I'll be prone to panic attacks. Oh my God, I'm feeling inferior and this work was my chance to redeem myself, and if I lose this chance, then I'll continue to feel inferior. So what do? I panic. Another opportunity, maybe the last one, is being stolen. I'm panicking. But if I'm all right, first of all, my goals do not remain the same. My goals are now worthy goals. Secondly, I cannot panic. Because whether or not those goals are achieved, I am all right. Do you see? Two things change. One, I do not chase the same goals. The goals change. The very quality of the work changes. Secondly, those goals are not goals in the same sense as they used to be. And I am not chasing them in the same sense as I used to chase. This chase has a different quality. These goals have a different dimension. I work hard, and yet I don't bother if I fail. While working hard, I was smiling. While achieving the goal, I was smiling. And while failing, I was smiling. I was successful. People looked at me and I was smiling. And I lost the race. And people looked at me and I was smiling. And it's not that I was not running hard enough. I ran as hard as I could. I too have an engine, and that engine is not fear. My energy too rises from some place. I work, and I work hard. Are you getting it? Please do not think that one can work only when he is motivated by greed or threatened by fear. Do not ask for motivations and threats. You demean yourself. To be motivated is to become a mercenary. Show me money and I'll work. That's bad, right? Very bad. Show me money and I'll sell myself. You know what that is. Or show me a stick. Put a gun to my head. Threaten me and I'll work. Is that nice? You want to live like that? Carrot and stick, carrot and stick. Then discover your real engine. It's a very powerful engine. Discover it. You'll have all the energy. You'll be working. You'll be moving. The world is your playground. You'll be dancing. But without the associated grief, suffering, and panic. Won't that be nice? I note this repeatedly. I mentioned that it took me 3.5 hours to reach from Noida to this place. I expected to be here at around 10:30 and I had gone off to sleep comfortably. I carry a pillow with me in my car. So 10:30 I woke up, found myself in middle of thick traffic. An entire ocean of cars in Vasant Vihar. And it was still an hour to reach here. I started looking at the faces of the people in the cars. And they were all going to work, right? We are talking about work. I do not know whether I am biased. I do not think I am. But I do not see one joyful face. When the engine is greed and fear, how can you be joyful while going to work? And I'll be returning in the evening, and I'll again be surprised if I see one joyful face. I see tense faces, I see angry faces, I see indifferent faces, I see bored faces, I see tired faces, I see complaining faces. But I do not see joyful faces. It should be a matter of celebration, right? I'm going to work. Wow, so exciting. But it seems that the fellow would rather sit in the loo all day than work. He would be more excited there. You want that kind of life? Yes, you're driving your own car probably, and inhaling all the wonderful fumes that Delhi has to offer. And your boss is calling you. It's 11. Or you are calling up your subordinates. Yes, I am stuck in traffic, but how dare you get stuck? You should have been there at 9. Isn't that humiliating that you can't even resign from these jobs because you know that a salary check is waiting for you? Every single cell in your body wants to run away, and yet you can't run away because there is a carrot dangling in front of you. Isn't that demeaning? Yes? Let work be celebration. Let work be life. You wake up and you want to work. You wake up and you don't want to run away from work. You wake up and you want to straight away reach out to something. No, work is holy, it's sacred. It's your breath, it's your heartbeat. Now there is no question of panic, because this cannot be taken away from you. Or can somebody steal your heartbeat? Is it possible? So why panic? Who can take away my work from me? It's not possible. Yes, you may decide not to pay me, but you cannot prevent me from working. And who wants to be paid for breathing? It's okay. If you pay me, that's a bonus. If you don't pay me, I would still breathe. Or would I not? No, I'm prepared for a surprise. Please tell me that I would rather not breathe if I'm not paid. Yes. Yes.